I want to show you a detailed look at what it's like to train with Velo City. My name is Luke Schaefer. I am the owner and head coach for the athletes in this program. I went from throwing the low to mid 80s in high school to struggling a lot early in college to eventually becoming an All-American, getting into professional baseball, throwing over 300 innings in the past 3 seasons, throwing 95 miles an hour, and getting better each and every season. My goal with this video is to show you what it's like through the initial assessment on to the actual programs themselves. So you know what this is all about, and you can come to our next call with questions and specifics about what you want to get into. To start, let's get into the initial assessment. This is where we get to understand you and your goals. Arguably one of the most important parts of the entire process as we get to learn and address the underlying issues and causes for you not being at your goal. We get a bunch of self-reported data along with a movement assessment where you upload video of yourself doing different exercises that we choose. And from there, we assess your force, your power, speed, movement quality, mechanics if you're a pitcher. And this, along with our first few phone calls, really helps paint that picture and allows us to build the bridge between yourself and your goals. That's the goal with this whole thing, is to be that bridge and help solve that puzzle for you so you can eliminate the guesswork and just focus on what's important, having fun, training, and playing whatever sport you love to do. From there, once we have this sent back into us and we have a good understanding of what we need to do, we build your program. This is one of our guys, Axel, multi-sport athlete in high school, wants to be a really good catcher and play professional baseball someday. But with multi-sport athletes, obviously there's other demands that we need to adjust for. So him being a wrestler, we're coming at a wrestling season, getting into baseball season. Just kind of a look at how we program things around that schedule where we're still focusing on getting, the body ready for our meets, but also just generally developing ourselves for baseball and making sure that that transition period is as small as possible and as easy as possible. As we transition, though, getting into the actual lifts themselves, we see each exercise has a YouTube video of me demonstrating what to do, a text description as well, where you get a lot of detail, sets and reps, cues, anything that think might be beneficial for you to understand the exercise and to execute it to the level that I want. As a hitter, he's not a pitcher, so there's not a ton of throwing that's involved with his program. Focus more on that rotational power development and exit velocity training compared to one of our college guys, Cade. You see a lot of throwing is involved in his progress, especially as he's building up from a break. He's a college guy that's been up to 95, so we give him a lot of detail to how to progress back into a safe throwing progression so he doesn't hurt himself. As he gets into season as a reliever, we lay out a ton of different variables or a ton of different schedules for him that might come up if he's throwing Friday and Sunday or Saturday and Tuesday. Just trying to lay out every possible outcome so we can best serve him and make sure that he is ready to go each and every time that he touches the mound. From there, a lot of guys love the mobility. This is one of the biggest things that we get from that initial assessment as well with that movement screening. We understand where you're deficient in moving and a daily schedule for this, 10 to 20 minutes a day, Monday through Sunday, getting a little bit of work to help bridge that gap from the weight room to the field. You're not going to deadlift on the field as much as that would be fun. It's not what ultimately matters. The skill and the game matters more, but how can we express that force in the best way possible? And we found that mobility helps out a lot with that. This switches up about every 2 or so weeks, just keeping it fresh, keeping it fun for guys, and not letting it be a super stale and boring routine, because that's just no fun, especially just with mobility work. Like you got to keep it fresh and engaging. For Cade, being the thrower that he is, we do some more pre-throw and elbow stuff just so he stays healthy and progress things as we need. Like we want to attack them as they come up and prevent injuries from turning into something more than they are. back to a program with Axel, high school kid, pretty underweight, so trying to pack on pounds. We track our weight. This isn't for everyone. Obviously, if you are overweight or underweight, this is more important, where we're trying to get you to understand what food you're taking in and what that looks like. And tracking is a great way to do this, whether it's every single day, weekly, some form of understanding of what's happening with your body is just crucial for everything. Last thing with the lifting, is the tracking of it and the history. So each and every week you track what you do, whether it's the weight, the completion, the time, some variable that you are going to try to beat that following week. That's the whole point of it, is you're giving yourself a target to beat the next week. And this is how progression happens over time, long-term athletic development happens. And if you do this consistently for a long period, you're going to become a whole different person, someone that's unrecognizable from who you are now. That's what I got on this. Everything that we do is written in pencil, not pen. And what that means is we're open to change. We don't give one-time programs, PDFs, etc., that we just give out to guys and hope they work. We're working with you every single day, checking in constantly, hopping on weekly calls, all ensuring that we are doing the right things for you. And if life happens and things come up or your body changes a little bit, we're adjusting with that. We don't want to stay stagnant and just hope, like it's a constant feedback loop of you trying things out, letting us know how it works. We're monitoring your feedback, assessing it, and then reiterating if needed. We're constantly adapting with you to make sure that we are always progressing. So I hope this has helped you get a little more clarity on what it's like to train with Velo City. Obviously, these programs, again, are not going to be what yours looks like, as you are you and not these guys. So looking forward to our next conversation. Hopefully you got some good questions answered. And if you have more questions that were unanswered still, be a great time in our next call to discuss that. Looking forward to our next discussion and potentially helping you out.